Joining us now from House Judiciary, Congresswoman Laurel Lee. Congresswoman, a pleasure to see you again. It's great to have you on. How important is the Laken Riley Act to America's safety? Can you tell us about it?
It is critically important. So what this act requires is that the Department of Homeland detain illegal immigrants who come into this country and commit crimes like theft, like burglary, like offenses that involve hurting or killing other people. And it sounds so obvious, but the reality is that for years under the Biden administration, this wasn't happening. And the consequences we see in cases like the tragic case of Laken Riley, we've seen the staggering statistics, the millions of people coming across our border. But this bill is an important reminder that this is not a crisis of numbers. It is a crisis of people, of lives of Americans that have been lost at the hands of these criminal aliens. So your coverage is exactly right. When we don't control our border, the Mexican drug cartel will. And this bill is an important step in shutting down and securing the lawlessness at our border.
Yeah, Congresswoman, we're tracking the Justice Department data. Up to 650,000 criminal illegal aliens convicted of murder, rape, sexual assault, robbery, home invasion, theft have come into this country over the last 40 years. We've got breaking news. What do you make of this new Washington Post report that the Trump Justice Department will prosecute state and local officials if they do not cooperate with ICE deportations? Now, there's also a new Homeland Security Committee report that warns America still faces a jihadi terrorism danger, that there are, quote, more than 50 jihadi cases in 30 states over the past 4 years. That's more than half of America has terrorism cases.
Well, that's right. And so what we know is that we're living in a very elevated threat environment right now. And one of the things that we've seen during the Biden administration was state and local officials who said they were going to refuse to enforce federal law, that they were going to be what they called sanctuary cities. And here's the reality. Sanctuary city is just another term for absolute defiance of federal immigration laws. So what President Trump is ensuring is that that happens nowhere in America, that every community is safe, regardless of whether a local official wants to defy federal immigration laws. That President Trump and his team are going to ensure that these laws are enforced and that these violent criminals who have come to our country are detained, they are prosecuted, and they are removed so that they don't pose a threat to any other Americans.
You know, let's show it. I'm going to ask my team to show the Supreme Court decisions and federal law that the Trump presidency has already marshaled to bulletproof his crackdown to shut the border. And Congresswoman, we're also going to show the growing number of nations who are taking back deportees. The list includes Venezuela, China, Mexico, more countries in South America, and countries in the Mideast and in Africa. So what do you make of this story?
Well, that's right. We need to send these folks back where they came from. In many respects, the Remain in Mexico policy that was successful during the first Trump administration is one of the things that he is already going back to. And that will make a huge difference. We heard it direct from Border Patrol agents that just going back to Remain in Mexico, just making sure that we're actually reviewing and checking who these folks are before they come to our country, putting an end to the abuse of the parole process, that those things alone will make a huge impact on securing the southern border.
Congresswoman Laurel Lee, we appreciate you so much taking your time out of your busy day to be with us tonight. It's great to see you again. Come back soon.